Picture this, it's 1954 and Nick, an ex-American soldier, finds himself behind bars in Japan. His crime? Unknown. His sentence? A whopping 10 years. Our story kicks off with Nick scrubbing away in the prison's bathroom. Suddenly, 5 intimidating tattooed men swagger out, eyeing Nick like he's their next meal. Once they're gone, Nick steps into the bathroom and stumbles upon a shocking sight, a man dangling by his tied hands. Nick's not about to let this slide. He hollers for the guards while frantically trying to save the poor guy. Another inmate rushes in to lend a hand, but here's the kicker. Instead of praise for their heroic act, Nick and his helper get a brutal beating from the guards. The head guard, waving a letter, rambles on about a gang member getting released. Nick, clueless about Japanese, is left in the dark. The guard's temper flares, and before you know it, Nick's tossed into solitary confinement. Plot twist. Nick's not alone in that tiny cell. His new roomie? None other than the guy he just saved from becoming a human pendant. This mystery man introduces himself as Kiyoshi, a member of the Yakuza's Shiromatsu clan. Kiyoshi's got a plan and he needs Nick's help. The scheme, fake a suicide attempt, get shipped to the hospital, where a Shiromatsu buddy will be waiting to spring him. If Nick plays along and manages to escape too, the Shiromatsu brothers promise to have his back in the future. As the prisoners toil away in the mines, Nick spots his chance. He pockets a rock and starts sharpening it, the key to Kiyoshi's daring escape plan. Will their risky scheme succeed? What twists and turns await Nick in this high-stakes game of prison break? Days tick by in that cramped cell. Kiyoshi's ready to put their plan into action. With the sharpened rock in hand, he turns to Nick. Make sure I survive and call the guards. Nick nods, his heart racing. The plan unfolds perfectly. Kiyoshi's injury sends the guards into a frenzy. Alarms blare, chaos erupts, and somehow, in the midst of it all, Nick finds himself with an early release ticket. Picture Nick stepping out of prison, a new man, fresh haircut, clean-shaven, ready to face the world. A car idles nearby, his ride to the Shiromatsu headquarters in Osaka. At Shiromatsu HQ, Nick's greeted like a hero. The clan bigwigs can't thank him enough. Then comes an intriguing offer, a job dealing with an American. Nick, seeing an opportunity, accepts. That night, pockets lined with Shiromatsu cash, Nick hits the town. In a smoky bar, he locks eyes with a stunning Japanese woman. Feeling lucky, he tips her generously. The next day, Kiyoshi escorts Nick to a factory. Their target, Anthony Panetti, an American businessman. Nick's mission, convince Panetti to play ball with Shiromatsu. It's not going to be easy. Panetti's already rejected their offer and is flirting with a rival clan. Panetti greets Nick with open hostility, trash-talking Japanese culture and the Yakuza. He's adamant, no price cuts for Shiromatsu. Nick realizes smooth talk won't cut it. In a shocking move, he grabs a typewriter and smashes it against Panetti's head. Suddenly, Panetti's a lot more agreeable. Will Nick's violent tactics pay off, or has he just made a dangerous enemy? How deep will he sink into the Yakuza's world? Let's continue with Nick's deepening involvement in the Yakuza world. Fresh off his first successful job, Nick's celebrating at a bar with the Shiromatsu crew, including Kiyoshi. The mood's light until the Shizu clan crashes the party, fuming about Panetti's rough treatment. One Shizu member pushes Nick's buttons until, smash! Nick shatters a bottle over the guy's head. In a flash, guns are drawn, tension thick enough to cut. But the Shizu, outgunned and outmaneuvered, back down and slink away. Nick's explosive reaction catches Shiromatsu's eye, especially Kiyoshi's. Impressed, Kiyoshi sets Nick up in a swanky apartment and hints at Nick joining the Shiromatsu clan for real. A plotter, Kiyoshi drags Nick into another negotiation at a Shiromatsu-owned bar. When words fail, Nick's blade doesn't. He slashes the defiant owner's throat, with Kiyoshi delivering the coup de grace. It's a grisly initiation into Yakuza life. Post-bloodshed, they hit a Shiromatsu nightclub. Nick spots a familiar face, the beautiful woman from the bar, now dancing with some men. Kiyoshi interrupts her fun, scolding her about potential danger from Shizu. Plot twist. She's Kiyoshi's sister, Miyu. Nick's tasked with escorting Miyu home. At her door, Miyu turns the tables, inviting Nick in with a teasing smile. One thing leads to another, and in the heat of passion, Nick discovers a Yakuza tattoo sprawling across Miyu's back. Nick's in deep now, blood on his hands, a Yakuza woman in his arms. Is he losing himself in this dangerous world, or is this just the beginning of his transformation? Nick's journey deeper into the Yakuza world takes a dramatic turn. Kiyoshi assigns Nick a solo mission, buy weapons from an American soldier, but keep the Shiromatsu connection under wraps. Simple enough, right? Wrong. At the docks, instead of a soldier, Nick finds a corpse. Before he can process this, the Shizu clan crashes the party, intent on hijacking the deal and robbing Nick. But our clever protagonist had stashed the cash in his car. The Shizu, furious at coming up empty-handed, decide Nick's life is forfeit. One Shizu thug orders Nick to kneel, preparing for execution. Nick complies for a moment. Then, in a lightning-fast move, he turns the tables. When the dust settles, two Shizu members lie dead. News of the dock fiasco reaches the Shiromatsu leader. He summons everyone, including Nick and Kiyoshi. While relieved the money's safe, he's furious about the potential gang war Nick's actions might trigger. His solution? Nick must slice off 2 fingers as an apology. But Kiyoshi, racked with guilt for involving Nick, volunteers his own fingers instead. The leader agrees, sending both Nick and Kiyoshi's severed digits to Shizu as a gruesome peace offering. Later, in a tense car ride, the Shiromatsu leader, revealed to be Kiyoshi's stepfather, confides in Nick about a suspected Shizu mole within their ranks. The conversation ends at a solemn ceremony where Nick is officially inducted into the Shiromatsu clan. Nick's now fully immersed in the Yakuza world, marked by blood, sacrifice, and suspicion. With a potential traitor in their midst and rival clans circling, what dangerous waters will Nick have to navigate next, and at what cost to his humanity? At his induction celebration, Nick pulls Kiyoshi aside for a heart-to-heart about Miyu. Initially hesitant, Kiyoshi's protective instincts kick in. He doesn't want his sister tangled in Yakuza life. But Nick's unwavering commitment to protect Miyu softens Kiyoshi's stance. Learning of their intimacy, Kiyoshi finally gives his blessing, welcoming Nick as a brother. Embracing his new identity, Nick decides to get a matching tattoo with Miyu. As the ink flows, Miyu explains the deep symbolism behind Yakuza body art, further cementing Nick's connection to this world. But danger lurks everywhere. On a train ride with Miyu, Nick spots a familiar face, the Shizu member who nearly killed him at the docks. The past isn't done with him yet. Meanwhile, tensions rise as Shizu representatives arrive at Shiromatsu headquarters. The Shiromatsu leader, insulted by the absence of Seizu's top brass, dismisses their business proposal despite Orochi's attempts to mediate. Later, over drinks, Orochi vents his frustrations to Kiyoshi about the leader's stubbornness. Kiyoshi's warnings fall on deaf ears. Orochi's ambition and anger are taking. The plot thickens as Orochi seeks out Miyu, revealing a past romance. His attempt to rekindle their relationship is met with firm rejection. Enraged, Orochi lashes out, slapping Miyu and attempting to force himself on her. Nick's world is now a powder keg of clan politics, personal vendettas, and dangerous liaisons. With Miyu in peril and clan tensions at a breaking point, how will Nick navigate these treacherous waters? Will his loyalty to Shiromatsu clash with his love for Miyu? And what of the lurking Shizu threat? At a sumo match, the Seizu chairman makes a bold move, proposing that the Shiromatsu leader retire and merge the clans. The Shiromatsu leader's response is fierce and proud. "We're wolves, not dogs in a fence." His parting words to the Seizu chairman carry a chilling threat. Nick's past catches up with him when Paulie Bowers, his former military partner, suddenly appears. What seems like a friendly reunion takes a dark turn as Bowers threatens to expose Nick's faked death. Nick, thinking fast, invites Bowers home, only to end the threat permanently with a knife to the neck. Rushing to Miyu's house, Nick is horrified to see her bruised face. His anger turns to shock when Miyu reveals she's pregnant with his child. In a surprising twist, she asks him to leave, leaving Nick reeling. Seeking guidance, Nick confides in Kiyoshi about the pregnancy, even offering to leave the clan. Kiyoshi's response is unexpected. He welcomes Nick inside and presents him with 2 Dao swords, family heirlooms with grave significance. One for taking lives, one for ending one's own. In a touching moment, Kiyoshi entrusts Miyu's care to Nick. Nick, grasping the weight of this responsibility and trust, picks up a Dao and asks for Kiyoshi's help in burying Bowers' body. This moment symbolizes Nick's deeper commitment to both the Yakuza life and his new family. The stakes are higher than ever for Nick. With a child on the way, clan tensions rising, and blood on his hands, how will he balance his loyalty to the Shiromatsu, his love for Miyu, and the ever-present danger? And what of the mysterious attack on Miyu? Could this be connected to the brewing clan war? At Shizu headquarters, a shocking revelation unfolds. Orochi, in a conversation with the clan leader, exposes his betrayal of the Shiromatsu clan. He's been plotting their destruction all along. The next day brings disaster. The Shiromatsu leader visits a tailor shop with Nick and Kiyoshi, but something's terribly wrong. When the leader doesn't come out of the fitting room, Nick investigates only to find a horrifying sight, an employee attempting to strangle their leader. Nick springs into action, but before he can handle it, Kiyoshi bursts in and fatally shoots the attacker. Their escape turns into a nightmare as Shizu clan members suddenly ambush them outside. In the chaos that follows, Nick and Kiyoshi desperately fight back while shielding their leader. Tragedy strikes when a Shizu member's bullet finds Kiyoshi, ending his life instantly. Barely making it back to their base, Nick and the leader rally the surviving Shiromatsu members. A chilling truth comes to light. Shizu members were in their escort car to the tailor shop. Someone in their own ranks had betrayed them. With hearts heavy but resolved, they vow revenge and declare war on the Shizu clan. When Nick breaks the news to Miu about Kiyoshi, her world shatters. Consumed by grief and anger, Nick leads the remaining Shiromatsu in a systematic takedown of Shizu members. Their efforts seem to pay off when Nick successfully intimidates a high-ranking Shizu leader. Just as victory appears within reach, an unexpected turn occurs. The Shizu leader sends a young messenger boy to Shiromatsu headquarters with an unusual proposal. A final battle, no weapons, on neutral ground at the docks. Despite the risks, the Shiromatsu leader accepts, dispatching Nick and his loyal fighters to what could be their final confrontation. In a stunning twist, the Shizu chairman arrives with Orochi, who finally confesses his betrayal. The Shiromatsu leader, who had loved Orochi like a son, offers forgiveness and opens his arms for reconciliation. But this tender moment turns tragic. As they embrace, Orochi plunges a knife into the leader's heart. The Shiromatsu members can only watch in horror, held at gunpoint by Shizu forces. Standing over the fallen leader, Orochi proclaims the end of the Shiromatsu clan. He makes Nick an unexpected offer, his own life in exchange for leaving Miu. Nick's response? A resolute refusal and a battle stance. But before he can strike, a hidden sniper's bullet finds his leg. As if things couldn't get worse, the police launch a raid on Shiromatsu headquarters, setting it ablaze. That night, despite his injury, Nick infiltrates the Shizu-guarded home of Miu, determined to rescue her. Then, wielding Kiyoshi's Dao sword, he marches straight into Shizu headquarters with an audacious request, permission to kill Orochi. Face to face with Nick, Orochi dismissively tosses back the Daisho sword, refusing to fight someone he sees as just an outsider, never truly Yakuza. In a lightning-fast move that surprises everyone, Nick answers this insult by separating Orochi's head from his shoulders. The room freezes. A Shizu member raises his gun, but remarkably, the clan leader stops him. Instead, he tells Nick to leave. His revenge for the Shiromatsu is complete. As the outsider draws to a close, we find Nick reuniting with Miu in their secret apartment. She runs into his arms, holding him tight. In a powerful final image, another Shiromatsu Yakuza guarding the apartment bows deeply to Nick, a gesture that suggests this outsider might just become the next leader of the Shiromatsu clan.